Welcome to the City of Santa Monica's Protection from Wildfire Smoke Informational Training. 2018 was the most destructive wildfire season on record for the state of California. Local fires impacted Santa Monica's air quality greatly in 2017 with the Creek and Skirball fires, and again in 2018 with the Woolsey fire that affected Malibu. Increased frequency of exposures has led Cal OSHA to come out with a new regulation for outdoor employees exposed to wildfire smoke. The scope of this regulation does not apply to indoor employees. Wildfire smoke can potentially be harmful to your health. There are various pollutants in wildfire smoke that may be of concern if you're very close to the fire, but less so if you're further away. Some of these pollutants are carbon monoxide, organic chemicals, and nitrogen oxides. Particulate matter is the main pollutant of concern from wildfire smoke for the relatively short-term exposures experienced by staff and the public. Particles larger than 10 micrometers do not usually reach the lungs, but can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat. Particle pollution includes coarse particles, also known as PM10, and fine particles, also known as PM2.5. Particles from smoke tend to be very small within the fine particle PM2.5 range and can be inhaled deep into the lungs. These smaller particles generally represent a greater health concern than larger particles. Symptoms of smoke-related illness are coughing, wheezing, difficulty breathing, irritation of your eyes and your respiratory tract, and an increased heart rate. People over 65 and those that have heart and lung issues are the most likely to be affected. If you experience symptoms of smoke-related illness due to wildfire smoke, take the following steps. Contact your supervisor immediately to make them aware of your condition. Move indoors or into an enclosed vehicle that has filtered or recirculated air, and seek medical attention if you feel the need. You have the right to a medical evaluation without concern of discipline. So what can you do to monitor air quality? Well, there are several government websites that monitor and forecast air quality. airnow.gov is a good resource, as is aqmd.gov for our South Coast regional information. Levels are reported following the AQI, or Air Quality Index. The AQI is color-coded from green for good quality to magenta for hazardous air quality. The city and affected departments will begin monitoring the AQI once there has been a smoke advisory issued, and the AQI is forecasted to reach the red or unhealthy range, which is 150. Monitoring will continue until the event has been resolved. Action needs to be taken by the city regarding staff that are working outdoors once the AQI reaches 150 or the red or unhealthy range, and there's a smoke advisory in effect. Once we reach these levels, monitoring of the AQI must happen throughout the workday. Tailgate meetings should be scheduled for the morning to discuss conditions and work plan for the day. Staff working outdoors will be offered N95 masks for voluntary use, and supervisors and staff working in the field must maintain two-way communication throughout the day. Once the AQI reaches a level of 500, which is the top of the magenta or hazardous range, and there's a smoke advisory in effect, more action must be taken. At this point, only essential outdoor job classifications will continue to work outdoors. Jobs that are essential should be previously defined by the department prior to a smoke incident. Respiratory protection is mandatory at these levels, and this staff will have been medically cleared and fit tested annually for respirator use. Some different engineering controls that we can implement to reduce staff exposure are closing the windows to buildings and vehicles, and if possible, limiting door use. If the building is equipped to do so, reduce the outside air intake for the building until the event is passed. And if we're in a vehicle, be sure to turn the HVAC controls to max AC or select recirculation mode. Departments are encouraged to use some administrative controls to reduce staff exposure during a wildfire event if possible. These controls include moving tasks to an area less affected by the smoke, scheduling tasks that can be postponed to another day, reducing the level of exertion for job tasks, and scheduling fresh air breaks throughout the day, either indoors or in a controlled air vehicle. Again, if you work outdoors, once the AQI hits 150, which is the red or unhealthy range, you will be offered a filtering facepiece respirator for voluntary use. This mask must have 2 straps and be labeled as an N95 mask or greater. If you have a known heart or lung issue, please consult with your doctor before using a respiratory mask, as it may complicate your condition. Keep track of your mask so that you don't end up using someone else's, and make sure to discard the mask if it becomes dirty or difficult to breathe through, and ask for a replacement. When putting on a respirator mask, the top strap goes over and rests the top back of your head. The bottom strap is positioned around the neck and below the ears. Make sure that you do not crisscross the straps, and then form the metal band to your nose. You may perform a fit check test in the field to check the quality of the seal of the mask. In order to do so, place both hands over the respirator and inhale. Check whether the respirator seals tightly to the face. Then place both hands over the respirator and exhale. If you feel leakage, there is not a proper seal. Adjust the mask until you feel the proper seal is achieved. Most of the times, the issue will be at the bridge of the nose or below the chin. This is what a properly fitting mask should look like. Respiratory protection has its limitations. Do not attempt to use a mask in areas of low oxygen. Do not use an N95 mask to protect you from gases or vapors. They are primarily designed for protection from particulate matter. Facial hair will reduce protection due to loss of seal, so please be clean shaven if you want the maximum level of protection. T-shirts, bandanas, and surgical masks provide little to no protection. In conclusion, let's review some of the highlights of this presentation. Small particles carried in smoke are our primary concern during a smoke advisory. Forecasts and daily air quality levels are available at different governmental websites such as airnow.gov and aqmd.gov. We want to make sure to reduce outdoor exertion if possible when a smoke advisory is in place and the AQI is over 150. Try to keep doors and windows closed and reduce outside air intake. Wear voluntary use respirator masks, N95 or greater, and use them as directed. Keep in communication with supervisors for updates. Let your supervisor know if you are having a smoke-related illness and seek care. And at an AQI of 500, only essential staff will be working outdoors under our respiratory protection plan.